Am I the only one who thinks there hasn't been any videos from the major Warframe YouTubers about Styanax lately? It seems that like when DE launched him, he was really strong and everybody was interested in him. And then they nerfed him, and then they nerfed him again. And now he's not broken. He's just great. But people don't seem interested in great. They seem interested in broken. So I come to you with a Styanax build video. It's the one that I am currently using, and it is very fun. The main thing to understand about Styanax is that a lot of people consider him to be a shield warframe. A shield warframe like Mag or Hildren, Protea, Volt. Warframes that rely on shield gating in order to survive. And he's not really a shield warframe. He's a hybrid warframe. I personally don't believe in running any dragon keys while playing this game because it's, in my opinion, it's not what the developers meant. So I don't run any dragon keys on any of my warframes, Styanax included. By him being a hybrid warframe, you need to focus on health and shields. I wanted to point out, like always, my Archon charts. Health, 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 casting speed. With the Umbra Vitality and the full Umbra set, you're looking at 731 armor, 638 energy, 1,670 health, 1,850 shields, with a power strength of 276%, a range of 145, and a duration of 100 and efficiency of 45. Prime sure-footed, keeps you on from taking stagger, keeps you on your feet, keeps you off your butt, keeps you alive. Brief respite, due to the fact that you have negative efficiency, brief respite comes in handy. Now, the arcane slot here for Malt Augment, it's a flex slot. You can put whatever you want in here. I like to run Malt Augmented. I also like to run Arcane Eruption, Arcane Energize. Arcane Barrier is okay. I would recommend running something else besides Arcane Barrier. It doesn't proc enough, in my opinion, in order to justify its slot. Now you may be wondering why I have Archon Stretch on here. Let me show you. So I run a Hound with my Styanax. With this Hound, I run Synthesize Prospectus. It's an ability that does electric damage, which procs my Archon Stretch. But more importantly, I also run Null Audit. The Hound utilizes the same aura and abilities as an Xmas enemy for 60 seconds while crippling its overguard by 50%. Once you're getting into Steel Path, Xmas units become a problem for Styanax if you can't get rid of that overguard quickly enough. Also, a Shock Xmas, when the Hound takes over a Shock Xmas, it also procs Arcane Stretch. Everything else, Arcane Aegis, Redirection, Blind Rage, Adaptation, Prime Flow, they're all self-explanatory. Now, as far as recommendations to what to run with Styanax, I personally like the Scourge Prime, but the Tenet Ferox is also really nice with him as well. Now, if you're running Scourge Prime, I recommend running Athadai or the Knell. Out of the two, I prefer Athadai because of if you happen to miss a headshot with the Knell, you're going to deal with long reload times. I like running the Rakta Dark Dagger on Styanax due to its passive of every time it hits an enemy that has been procced with radiation, it gives you shields. This is the Scourge build. It is a status build. Heat, viral, and corrosive. This is the Athadai build. I run radiation with it. I find that against corrupted, since I'm not running viral, radiation is the next best thing, in my opinion, due to its passive crowd control. And this is the Rakta Dark Dagger. I focused on status in order to proc radiation as much as possible, in order to give me as much shield as possible. Other choices for melee I also recommend is the Tenet Agendis, but the Tenet Agendis is a great melee weapon overall. So, let's see what we got here. Now, you can kill him faster by stripping the armor, but that's not what I'm here to demonstrate. As I rebuild my shields, my critical chance goes up. Easy peasy. So there's definitely different. I prefer variety. I like different ways to play the games. If I want to focus on my primary weapon, I can. If I want to focus on my secondary weapon, if I had ammo, I can. If I want to focus on my melee weapon, I can. If I want to start doing finishers, due to Styanax's second ability opening people up for finishers, I can. If I want to just spam his fourth ability, I can. Now you're probably wondering if you should run a Helminth ability on him, and you can. If you run a Helminth ability on him, I recommend running Vazarin, due to the second ability in the Vazarin tree, because it makes for a nice replacement for his first ability when it comes to grouping up enemies nicely. That does the same thing. Now, if you decide that you're going to run his first ability like I do, then I would go with Zanurk. Because Zanurk gives you one free cast, which will allow you to cast his third ability first thing in the mission and get yourself some energy. Or you can always do your Hardened Wellspring as well. So Zanurk without a Helminth ability, Vazarin with a Helminth ability. And you're asking, which Helminth ability should I run? So, if you notice that the build is completely the same, because in my opinion, you don't need to change it. The obvious answer here is Nourish, but I'm not a big fan of it because I feel like it locks you into a certain playstyle. You'll be casting 1, 2, and 4 repeatedly. It gets to the point where you don't even focus on your weapons anymore, and that's fine. Some people like this. I get bored of it easily. Now, another one that I also recommend is Condemned. Condemned pairs nicely with his passive. It allows you to build energy shields right away. Also, if you don't want to run direct to Dark Dagger like I do, you can run Condemned with any melee weapon. Because the Condemned is going to pick up the slack when it comes to giving him shields. And upping his critical chance. Not to mention the free crowd control as well. It's nice. But you see that heavy gunner is shooting me, but it doesn't do anything to me. Because every time I hit him with my dagger, I get back shields. But there you have it. Not